Hi and welcome to Crab Recap. Today I will tell you about a movie called Arec. The movie is set in Barcelona, Spain, where a camera crew is preparing to shoot for a show. The crew only consists of reporter Angela Vidal and cameraman Pablo. They are visiting a local fire department to report on the daily night shift of a fireman. The head of the current shift shows her around the department, introducing her to the firemen she'll be tailing tonight, and even showing her how the firemen put on their suits. She interviews one of the firemen, Alex, who says that most nights they handle emergencies unrelated to fire. It seems to be a quiet night, and Angela says she wishes for the emergency alarm to sound so they can have something interesting to report. She finally gets her wish, because when she's playing basketball with the firemen, the alarm starts ringing. They announce that a woman is reportedly stuck in her apartment somewhere in the city. The firemen suit up and head out in their truck in less than 5 minutes, as Angela and Pablo follow them. On the way, Angela tries to explain what's happening on camera, like a true reporter. Angela, Pablo, and firemen Alex and Manu arrive at the scene. The firemen grab the various equipment they might need to do the rescue operation. Upon entering the apartment building, they see a police officer trying to calm down some of the residents who are gathered on the ground floor. The residents say that they heard the woman living on the third floor, Conchita Izquierdo, screaming very loudly, followed by a loud thud. They think that she might have fallen, and since she's a loner who only lives with her cats, they decide to call emergency services to help her. The police officer and the firemen decide to head upstairs to check out the situation. In front of Conchita's door, a younger officer named Sergio waits for them, seeming irritated with the presence of Angela and Pablo, who are filming. The firemen break through the door, revealing a dark hallway. Everyone enters the apartment and starts to look for Conchita, eventually seeing her standing silently on the other side of the apartment. She doesn't respond to the officers, who are asking if she's okay, so they slowly approach her. Under Pablo's flash, Conchita seems dazed and bloody until everyone yells for Pablo to turn off the bright light. Angela tells him to keep recording stealthily, and the camera captures the moment when Conchita suddenly tackles the older officer and bites his neck. The firemen and Sergio use their strengths to get Conchita off the older officer, who is profusely bleeding. Manu orders Alex to stay with Conchita while he and Sergio carry the injured officer downstairs. Angela panics because this is the first time she has seen something this violent in her life. She urges Pablo to follow them, continuing to record the chaos. The men head straight towards the exit as they hear an ambulance just outside the apartment, but the residents say that they've been locked in. Seeing the injured officer, one of the residents named Guillem Marimon offers to give first aid as he's a medical intern. They carry the injured officer near the stairs, where Guillem uses Angela's outer as a makeshift bandage. Meanwhile, Sergio, Manu, and the other residents are still gathered in front of the exit. They receive an announcement from outside that the health department has sealed the whole building for safety reasons. They are instructed to remain calm and to follow Sergio's orders. Sergio uses his radio to call for help for his partner, but they tell him that there's nothing they can do for now. In a panic, he gets in an argument with Angela about recording the chaos, but Angela says they must record everything to serve as proof. A lady named Mari Carmen, who's holding her daughter, agrees with Angela. Manu yells for everyone to calm down and focus, asking about what's behind the shutter on the other side of the lobby. The residents say that it's a textile workshop and that there's a way out from behind the shutters. Sergio tries to calm the frantic residents, while Mari says that his husband, who is outside buying antibiotics for her daughter, texted her about the building being surrounded by police. Suddenly, Alex falls from the third floor all the way to the lobby. Guillem says that he's still breathing, so they carefully move him to be treated by Guillem. They hear Conchita screeching from above, so they decide to go upstairs again to investigate. Upon entering Conchita's apartment, they see another woman lying dead in the middle of the hallway. They spot Conchita, who is acting rabid, when she ignores their warnings and runs towards them. Sergio is forced to shoot her until she lays motionless in the hallway. They all return to the lobby, where they manage to open the shutters leading into the back of the building. Manu tells Sergio to stay with the injured while he checks for an exit, but Sergio says that they're ordered to keep everyone in the lobby. Manu says they must seek help for the injured, so he and Sergio head towards the back exit while Angela continues to report the situation. The back exit is also sealed, and the police outside warn them to back off. They announce that a BNC protocol has been initiated and a health inspector will come inside shortly to assess the situation. Angela asks what a BNC protocol is, and Manu tells her that it's a procedure to contain biological, nuclear, and chemical threats. When Sergio tries to get the residents to head back to the lobby, a resident named Caesar says that their communications have been completely blocked off. No phone signal, no TV or radio. So something weird must be going on. Mari also complains about the situation, since her daughter is sick and needs some medicine. Guillaume suggests that they leave through the second-floor balcony, so he heads to the lobby to get the spare keys. He tells Manu and Angela that he's in charge of the building. They enter an apartment on the second floor and see a bunch of special forces outside the balcony as they seal off that exit too. Suddenly, Sergio rushes to their side and reminds them that he's in charge here. He doesn't seem to know why they're being sealed in either. After some pressure from the others, Sergio draws his gun and tells everyone to shut up. He orders them to go down to the workshop while the police outside reminds them to follow Sergio's order and to not leave the building. After Sergio relaxes, they talk about getting medical supplies from Guillaume's apartment. Now back in the workshop, it's 2 a.m. and Angela continues to report the situation inside the building. Pablo records Guillaume, who is currently doing his best to treat Alex and the wounded officer. Angela interviews Guillaume about their conditions and the current situation. Angela continues to interview other tenants like an elderly couple, a Japanese immigrant who works at the textile workshop with her family, and Caesar, who makes racist remarks against the Japanese family, blaming their food for the mysterious disease. Angela also interviews Mari's daughter Jennifer, who is currently sick. She tells Angela that they have a dog named Max, who is also sick and is currently staying at the vet. Then, Sergio gathers everyone in the workshop to tell them about the information he got from outside. He says that there's been an infection, and each tenant will have to do a blood test so the health inspector can allow them to leave. Manu does a roll call of each apartment to make sure that every tenant is present downstairs. Apparently, the penthouse is owned by someone from Madrid who hasn't opened the apartment in years. The health inspector finally comes in wearing a full hazmat suit. Sergio and Manu lead him to Guillaume, who has been taking care of the injured. The inspector tells everyone else to stay in the lobby while he checks on the injured in the workshop. Angela wants to report on whatever they're doing in the workshop. So in the adjacent room, Pablo climbs on a table to record from an open window. The inspector is telling the other men to handcuff the injured people to the table before injecting them with something. Within seconds, Alex and the injured officer suddenly attack Guillaume. The others lock Guillaume inside the room with the rabid infected, running back to the lobby and trying to close the rolling door. Manu yells at the inspector to explain everything to them. The inspector says that they discovered an unknown infectious disease in a dog, who turns out to be Jennifer's dog, Max. At the vet, Max fell into a coma before waking up and acting violent, attacking all the other animals there. They traced Max back to this apartment, hence the quarantine measures. Hearing this, the others become suspicious of Jennifer, who is also sick. Despite Mari saying that she just has tonsillitis, the inspector says that she might be infected because they suspect the disease to spread through saliva. Not long after, Jennifer goes rabid and bites Mari's face before running upstairs. They handcuff Mari to the stair railings, and the inspector gives Manu and Sergio a drug to inject the girl with. Pablo follows the two men into Conchita's apartment, but then they realize that neither Conchita nor the other dead girl's body are there. Inside the living room, they find Jennifer, who's just standing silently. Sergio takes the needle and tries to approach Jennifer, whose face has transformed. Unfortunately, she goes rabid again and attacks Sergio, biting his face. She takes her captive and tells the others to run and leave him. Conchita returns near the exit and gets beaten up by Manu. As they run downstairs, the other tenants are running up because the infected people in the workshop are escaping. Manu and Jennifer are trying to close the rolling door, but the inspector won't help them, running upstairs instead. Manu tells Angela and Pablo to run, having to leave Mari behind as they don't have the handcuff keys. They all run towards Caesar's apartment as the infected chase them. Once they hear them backing away and going upstairs, they finally calm down. A shouting match happens between Manu, who says they must leave, Angela, who refuses to leave, and Caesar, who wants to stay here until the police come to rescue them. Angela yells that the police are leaving them to die here. Knowing that the inspector is here, Manu comes to confront him, but the inspector says that he's bitten. He tells everyone to get away and locks himself in the back of Caesar's apartment. They try to leave from the window, but again, the police warn them to stay in the building or they'll kill them. Caesar has an idea to leave from the sewers in the basement, but he gets bitten by the now infected inspector. Now, only Pablo, Angela, and Manu are not infected. They head to Guillaume's apartment to find the keys for the basement. However, they don't remember which apartment is Guillaume's. While talking, one of the infected people attacks them, eventually killed by Manu. They go to the mailbox and learn that the room of the intern is on the 3rd floor. It's their only chance of getting out. They have to fight a few infected people to get there. Manu breaks the lock with a mallet and tells the two to find the key inside while he guards the entrance. After searching for a while, they find a bunch of keys, and Angela takes all of them. When they head out, they realize that Manu is gone and that the infected people are coming after them. Pablo and Angela run upstairs to the attic where they think it'll be safe, barely managing to close the door behind the infected people. The attic is pitch black, and Pablo struggles to turn on his flashlight. After the infected people leave from the door, they inspect the decrepit apartment full of medical equipment and walls filled with pictures of a young girl and newspaper clippings. The newspaper clippings talk about the possession of a girl named Tristana Medeiros, who is the same girl in the pictures. Angela finds a tape recorder and decides to play it. The man in the tape talks about conducting experiments on a disease that sounds similar to the one that infected the tenants. It seems that Tristana is patient 0, and the apartment owner has been doing experiments on her. In the tape, he says he's gonna seal up the apartment to prevent Tristana and the disease from spreading. In an attempt to get out, Pablo decides to check the apartment's attic. He sees a monstrous humanoid creature attacking his flashlight and breaking it. He turns on the night vision, and we can see the monster more clearly. It seems to be Tristana, who has mutated into a tall and lanky monster. Pablo tells Angela to be quiet because the monster can't hear them, but when they try to escape, it chases and attacks Pablo. Angela grabs the camera, but drops it again after the monster chases her. The movie ends with Angela being dragged into the darkness. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Write your opinion about the movie in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos.